Hello. Okay. Is this good? Cute. How do I look? I feel like I ask myself this question in every video and I get the same outcome, so I'm just gonna assume that I look good. Okay. You gotta fake your confidence till you make it. But hello guys, I am so blessed to be living today. As all of you guys who are watching this, so go ahead and like literally give Yahweh a prayer and say thank you, because not everybody makes it. I'm excited to be filming this video. I'm gonna be doing a girl talk Q&A, but it's gonna be like a Christian style girl talk. So, and I say Christian style because it's gonna be like a lot of like faith questions, and so I just want to talk to you guys about questions that you may not get answered when it comes to faith, because we do have a lot of like discrepancies and a lot of like just uncertainty when it comes to different topics. First question is, how does Christianity influence your life? So for me, Christianity is my life. Like that is my lifestyle. Like I feel like everybody has like their lifestyle. Like you have like veganism, and like that's some people's lifestyle. Like that's what drives everything that they do. Some people are, okay, this sounds funny, but like stoners, and like that influences everything that they do. There are people that just have different lifestyles, and Christianity is my lifestyle. So basically it influences everything that I do. Obviously I fall short of God's expectations every single day, as we all do, but I really do try to make it an effort to make sure that everything that I do aligns with God. And it is really hard. Like lately I have been super off my rocker with God. Like I've been falling into temptation, just falling into like so many different sins, and I'm finally like getting back on track, so I'm like really excited for that. But I really do try to make it an effort to have God like literally in everything that I do. So like just try to be a replicate of how he was, which is so difficult again. And I feel like some people are gonna be watching this and be like, Lexi, weren't you just, I know, and I've repented, and I really am getting back aligned with my faith, because that is something that I've been struggling with a little bit. And like there are certain sins that I'm like, do you think there's an obsession with marriage in our community? Yes and no. And the reason why I say no is because, okay, Paul does say it is better to get married than to burn with lust. If you are burning with lust and you have your partner and you feel like God is saying, all right, like, of course, pray before you even like propose to somebody, but like if God's like, yeah, like get married, then do it. You know what I'm saying? Because why just live in sin when you can get married to that person, especially if God already told you that that was your person. And Paul also says like it is better to get married than to burn with lust. But Paul also does say that it's better to be single than to be. So, you know, I don't know, in this stage of my life, I'm taking Paul's advice as like it's better to not be married. Like I'm taking that advice as like I'm gonna focus on myself. I think that the obsession with marriage, it more so stems from like the lack of communication in the church about lust and how to deal with it and how to conquer it. Because yes, it's better to get married than to burn with lust, but at the exact same time you do need to learn self-control. And I feel like lust is not a huge thing that's talked about, at least from like when I've been in it. It's like super hard, and like it gets kind of awkward, and it gets a little, but I'm like, if you're watching this channel, like we're gonna talk about it. Like we're gonna like just straight up talk about it. So I think it's more so an obsession of like not being in sin, which is making these people like want to get married so that way they're not in sin, versus like marriage as a whole. I think Black women are judged more in terms of modesty. Yes. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this because people are like, Lexi, what are you talking about? But modesty goes so much further than just what you are wearing. Okay, if you are wearing, you can be fully clothed, but if you're wearing a Gucci shirt and you're only wearing that shirt because you want people to perceive you as like some rich, like extravagant person, that's immodest. The way you talk can be modest. When you're making those coarse jokes, I gotta work on them. I work on that, guys. When you're making those coarse jokes, that's immodest. When you are, modesty is just so much more than what you're wearing. And I wanna emphasize that, because people don't realize that, and people solely base modesty on what you're wearing. Also, your intentions. Why are you wearing some of the things that you're wearing? Let's be real, y'all. We're instilled in society for people to automatically sexualize Black women. And so I feel like even me, like I can see like somebody who is wearing a cute little crop top with some jeans and some Converse, and it's like cutesy and and artsy and like nothing's wrong with it and we're not looking at it. But then you see somebody who is black and they're wearing the cute little crop top with the jeans in the same outfit, and it's like we almost sexualize like, oh, like she's showing too much. So I feel like it's almost instilled in like our minds, because I do the same thing. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, like sometimes I'm like, wait, Lexi, like catch yourself. Like, you're looking at this person, but if somebody else of a different skin tone was wearing it, would you have those same feelings of like, oh my gosh, that's super immodest, or oh my god. So yes, I do think that we are judged more, but I don't want you guys to take this answer and use that as an excuse to be immodest, okay? How do you worship God? Okay, I feel like some of these questions are more general questions and not girl talk. We'll get into the girl talk in a little bit. But how do you worship God in every aspect of your life? So I am gonna start this challenge. I want to do it Sunday, where I like wake up early. There's like a Holy 40 challenge. I'll go ahead and like put it on the screen that I really want to start, and I don't like starting things in the middle of the week, so I'm gonna start it next week. But that's something that I'm gonna do so I have more time with God. Also, listening to Christian music has really been getting me and loving it. Like it makes me cry, like when I listen to it every time. Like, I'll be in church, or like I'll be in like my youth group. Like, I'm going to youth group, guys. I've been like doing so much better with my faith, and we'll talk about like faith journeys in another video. But listening to music is another form of like worshiping God. Making sure that you read, guys, is a form of worshiping God. Make sure that you read your Bible, and don't just do that verse of the day, guys. Come on now. Like, if you have enough time to scroll on Instagram for 5 hours a day, you have enough time to pick up the Bible and read at least one book. At least one book. How do you handle lust? I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. Y'all asking the wrong person. No, I'm just playing. Just kidding. Kind of. Lust is one of the most difficult things, I think, at a college standpoint to combat. Okay? One of the most difficult things. That is something that I've struggled with. The real way to combat it is to like see what is tempting you into being lustful. If you guys don't know what lust is, it is like sexual relations literally outside of marriage. And if you're wondering, well, why does God want us to wait till marriage? I want to test my car before I drive it. That's literally what I hear all the time, and I'm like, okay. Basically, God wants you to wait till marriage because that is a special covenant that you make between you and your husband. When you start having sex before marriage, you're not only destroying your own body, like it's a sin against your own body, guys. Like, it's serious. It's serious. And also, when literally Genesis 2 verse, I think it's what, 27, 24. Okay. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother to be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Okay, more than like spiritual, but like physically as well. So when you are having sex with these different people, and I'm gonna break it down for people who are not Christian and you're watching this, you're like, well, why does God want us to wait? God created sex. God wants you to have sex, babe. He just wants you to wait till marriage. As far as like why, it's because I'm gonna put it in terms that'll make sense to somebody who is not in the faith. Energy. We always talk about energy, exchanging energy, good energy, bad energy. If you're having sex with random people, you know how much like energy you're switching? Like, you're really giving that person like all the intimate, like, I don't want to be vulgar, okay guys, but you're inside that person. Mom and dad, I just skip over this portion. My point is this, you will literally exchange energy. So I hear this because I have friends who aren't in the faith, and I hear this saying all the time, well, I want to test my car before I drive it. And why do I have to wait till marriage? And that's so boring. And God just doesn't want you to have fun. Like, people like actually think this stuff. And I'm like, who said that God doesn't want you to have fun, babe? God is protecting your heart. So many of my friends, I'm not calling them out, I love them all, but like, they're friends that I have had slash have that participate in hookup culture, and I see the effects that it has on their mental health, their spiritual health. They feel terrible. They feel like the only thing that is valuable of them is sex, and it's sad. And that's why I'm like, God isn't saying to wait till marriage to be annoying. He's saying to wait till marriage because he wants to protect you, and he realizes how sacred and how intimate that is and how serious it is. Sexual immorality is the only sin that God says to flee from. That's how important it is, okay? Have you ever lost faith in God? 1,000%. You know, every time you doubt, you are losing faith in God. Every time you have fear, you're not trusting God, like 1,000%. Even now, like I, again, have been really trying, guys. Really trying to like remember, like, God has a plan for you, Lexi. Like, and that's why I want to get Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I want to get that tattooed on me because it really just helps me remember, like, Lexi, God has a plan for you. I lost faith in God, like, all the time. And that's the verse that pops up in my mind is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, because God already knows what's going to happen. God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. He knows what's going to happen the next day and the next day and the day after that. So it's like, why even lose faith when like God's got you. God's got your back. Love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.